On this occasion, I just want to talk about fatwa. Fatwa is an Arabic word. Sometimes it is interpreted as Islamic ruling. However, some definer says that it is a formal legal opinion. And fatwa is issued usually by the muftis or ulamas. And if the fatwa is issued, it is bound to everybody. Even the highest executive official of the government has to comply with it. Of course, the fatwa is the basis of fatwa is the glorious Quran and the Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This doesn't mean that the mufti is making law, because lawgiver is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The role of mankind or the role of legislative body is the so-called derivative rule making, where there are explicit injunction of the Quran, injunction of the Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The role of the mufti or the role of the legislative body is to derive from this injunction and come up with rules and regulations, how to implement the commandment of Allah, how to execute the commandment of Allah. For example, verse 38 of Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَالسَّارِقُ وَالسَّارِقَةُ فَقَطَعُوا أَيْدِيَهُمَا جَزَاءً بِمَا كَسَبَا نَكَالًا مِنَ اللَّهِ. It's very clear in injunction of the Quran that the punishment for commission of theft is amputation of arms. And because of the existence of this explicit verse of the Quran, the mufti or the legislative body will derive from this injunction of the Quran, make rules, how to implement it, what are the conditions, the value of the stolen thing before implementing or executing the commandment of Allah. And of course, fatwa is binding because the basis of fatwa are the glorious Quran and the Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have to believe also, we have to see that the glorious Quran is the final word of Allah revealed to mankind through the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the glorious Quran is of eternal message, universal relevance, and everlasting punctuality. And the glorious Quran is complemented, exemplified by the body of teaching of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, which we describe as Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And these two are the main source of Islamic Sharia. And these are the main basis of fatwa. Of course, there is a third source of Islamic Sharia, the so-called ijtihad. Yes, reasoning. When Muaz bin Jabal have been designated by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as governor to Yemen, before Muaz could leave for Yemen, he had been interviewed by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in order to ensure that he was the right candidate for governorship in Yemen. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Oh Muaz, you are designated as governor to Yemen, and bear in mind that the people of Yemen are knowledgeable people because they are the people of the book. Therefore, if some cases should be brought before the governor, before you as a governor, how do you address it?" Muaz said, "I'm going to find the solution from the book of Allah, from the glorious Quran. If you cannot find it from the glorious Quran, what would be your next step?" According to the Holy Prophet Muhammad, Muaz said, "I'm going to find it from the prophetic tradition, that is the Sunnah. If both the Quran and Sunnah are silent for you, what would be your next step?" So Muaz bin Jabal said, "Agitahidu ra'i, I will resort to reason." Yes, of course, reason must be based or in the light of the glorious Quran and the Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this Quran and the Sunnah are the basic, the main source of Islamic Sharia, and they are accorded with infallibility, as emphasized by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In his saying, "Taraktu fikum amrayn, lan tadillu ba'di ma tamassaktu bihima, kitab Allah wa sunnat rasulih." I have left for you two things, which guarantees that you will never go astray as long as you uphold them. They are the glorious Quran and the Sunnah to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, whatever this decision made by the glorious Quran and the Sunnah, we have no alternative, we have no option, we have no choice but to comply with the decision of the two. Verse 36 of Surah Al-Ahzab. يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى: وما كان لمؤمن ولا مؤمنة إذا قضى الله ورسوله أمرا أن يكون لهم الخيرة من أمرهم. Being a mu'min, being a believer, male or female, we have no alternative, we have no choice after the glorious Quran and the Sunnah are given their decision but to comply with the decision of the two. Regarding the Sunnah, verse number 65 of Surah An-Nisa, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِيمَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا مِمَّا قَضَيْتَ وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. By your Lord of Muhammad, they have no real faith unless they have to take you, they have to adopt you as their arbiter in whatever disputation among themselves. Without this least reservation of their heart in acknowledging your decision, وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا, and they will submit to your decision with full submission. On this occasion, we are announcing a grand launching of this fatwa regarding the Fatawa, corrective Fatawa issued by the different grand muftis of the Islamic world. So our focus of attention now is on birth control, family planning, and of course, immunization. Generally in Islam, Islam encourages us to procreate as many children as we can. The Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Tazawwajul walud al-walud, fa inni mukathirun bikum al-umama yawm al-qiyamah." If you want to get married, you have to choose a prolific woman. You have to choose a fertile woman. You have to choose a productive woman, because I'm going to compete with the previous messengers of Allah in the hereafter. Who among us will have the largest number of voters? The largest number of followers. Slip of the tongue, because we are always using the term voters. Yes or no? So, if you go to if we should say that there is no limitation here, there is no birth control here, general rule. There is a verse 21 of Surah Al-Rum. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُمْ مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. Among the signs of Almighty Allah is that He had created for you your mates, your better halves, so that you may live with them in tranquility, in harmony, and in peace. There is no disturbance here. There is no limitation here. And then this verse of the Quran further says, وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً, and God had put in both the heart of the husband and the wife mutual fidelity, mutual love, and mutual affection. And the result of this mutual love and mutual affection is the procreation of their children. They can procreate as many children as they can, including their upbringing in accordance with Islamic life.